Hello and welcome back to the Runaway American UK edition. I'm coming to you with top 10 places to visit in the UK. I tried to do a video on this because of copyright. Like I replaced a song and it turns out it like made it like into 3 songs. So I'm doing a different video as well because someone was like, this is AI bull. So I was like, oh, okay, let's do a different video. So this is a person's top 10 instead of like something they just compiled. So hopefully this is a better one and there will be no sound issues on this. I'm hoping. Other thing, what's the other things? Please, if anyone has a special request that they want me to do for a video, I know that there's a lot of people who like want me to react to something specific. You can leave me a request on Buy Me a Coffee. Like, honestly, any bit of support helps. I also do like look at the comments, and if I get enough of a comment of like one specific video, it goes on my list to react to. But if there's like one video that you want me to react to that no one else has mentioned and it's not getting a lot of like, it's like very niche, very specific, then you can head over to Buy Me a Coffee. I'll totally react to it. Also, still saying my, like, not pushing you to watch it, but I'm just like saying I have my Patreon now up. I reacted to Peter Gabriel, Cliff Richard, Genesis. I reacted to Monty Python on there, Peter Kay, Misheard Lyrics. So if you guys are interested in reacting to any of that, like watching me react to any of that, please head over to my Patreon, check it out. The link's in my bio, as well as every description of the videos that I post. So just check it out if you want to. No pressure to sign up. Like, if you want to, you can. As well as if you join tier 2 or tier 3, you get special requests. So you don't, like, you can request something every single month if there's something you want me to react to. As well as I think I'm going to start a show on there soon. I may do a poll. I only have 2 subscribers right now, but they can choose of whether they want me to react to, I think someone said the In-Betweeners or is it Black Ladders or Black, it's something to do with black. So just check it out if you want to. Otherwise, let's look at top 10 places to visit in the UK. So this is just the UK, not England.
What's
this is
up,
all
guys?
of the UK, not
My
England.
name's Ryan Shirley, and I spent the last few years exploring the United Kingdom, and I want to show you my favorite places. So here's my UK top 10. The United Kingdom is made up of the countries of England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and Scotland.
so pretty.
If you want to go back in time and feel like you're in a fairy tale or a Harry Potter film, the UK
Yes.
is the place for you.
Yes.
It's easy to see why so many myths and legends were born here. It's one of the world's most enchanting places. Alright, so for our first location,
London.
we're going to go visit possibly the most iconic city in the world, London. I've traveled more to London than any other international destination.
Same.
I have to say it's my favorite city in the world, and I just
Also-
keep coming back.
also-
Everything from the double-decker buses to the energy of Piccadilly Circus makes the city feel so alive. There's just
I'm gonna pause and I'm backing it up, so I promise that I'm not gonna skip anything he says. London is definitely one of my favorite places. It's probably actually my absolute favorite place in the world. I've been to it 8 or 9 times. It's a lot of times a stopover for us. Like when I was living in the United States, 90% of the time we would like stop in London for a few days before we would like travel on to the next journey of our trip. But we also have spent like weeks in London as well, like where we've spent like, I think the longest we've ever spent in London is like 13 or 14 days maybe. But I could always go back. There's always more to see. There's always more to discover. It's kind of like, to me, it reminds me a lot of like New York City, just cleaner and safer than New York City. But New York City, like they have the same vibe of like the city is like just like, always thriving, something's always happening. I mean, like not thriving, like pulsing. Like something's always happening there. It always feels extremely like, I don't even know how to describe it. It feels like you're one person in a sea of people, but I enjoy that feeling. There's some people who feel like claustrophobic in a city. They feel like there's too many people. I love that feeling. I love the feeling of being like just one among thousands, and you're just like living there, or even millions, but like I love that feeling of like just almost like there's just people around you and their lives are going on daily and you have no idea what their lives are like, but you see them and like you're observing them. There's something cool about it. I don't know. And I always love the pub culture in London is great. I love the double-decker buses. I love just everything. There's so many great places. Like Kensington Gardens is wonderful. I like always stop over like Oxford Street. I know it's like a touristy crap, but still I love it. I love just, again, there's so many great places. It's hard to like name everything. I'm sure I'm saying like touristy places because if any of you are actually in London, next time I come, like I pop over to London, maybe you guys can give me the real British tour, like the real tour for the Londoners. But I do mostly like probably the touristy crap.
The buses to the energy of Piccadilly Circus makes the city feel so alive. There's just so many places to see.
Trafalgar
you can check out the
is
iconic
amazing.
Big Ben and walk across the bridge to see the Palace of Westminster. There's the Tower Bridge, which is possibly the most famous bridge in all of London.
Oh, yeah.
You can go see the Stoic Guards at Buckingham Palace or take a ride on the London Eye. If you haven't already been to London, I highly recommend visiting when you can. It's hard to beat the London atmosphere. There's no city like it in the world. Alright, so after exploring London, we're going to make the 2-hour drive over to Stonehenge. Located in Wiltshire, England, lies one of the most famous man-made rock structures in the world. There's a lot of mystery surrounding Stonehenge, like what was its purpose and how was it made. Archaeologists believe it was constructed back between 3000 to 2000 BC. Stonehenge consists of a ring of rocks, each being around 13 feet high and weighing nearly 25 tons each. It's unclear what the exact purpose of Stonehenge was. It's believed that it was used as an astronomical observatory or a religious site. Either way, it sure makes you stop and think how people thousands of years ago were able to construct this. Alright, so after Stonehenge, we're going to head on over to the Jurassic Coast.
Like, it's Stonehenge, right? It sounds like hedge. It sounds like he's saying Stonehenge.
While you won't find any dinosaurs here, you might find some fossils on the beach.
Super
the Jurassic
cool.
Coast is England's only natural World Heritage Site, and it's become popular with its white cliffs and picturesque beaches that are full of fossils formed over 65 million years ago. One of the most famous spots on the Jurassic Coast is Door.
So cool.
It's this limestone arch that goes straight into the ocean. There's a great beach there, and I just can't think of a better place to spend during the hot English summers. One of my favorite spots on the Jurassic Coast is Old Harry's Rocks. Now, special thanks to my friend David Rule for providing this footage. He has an awesome Instagram and YouTube that I'll provide in the description below. I remember the first time I saw his picture of this place, and I was just baffled by the scenery there. The Old Harry Rocks are these sea stacks that are made completely out of chalk that mark the end of the Jurassic Coast. In World War II, the stacks were used as target practice for pilots, so that's kind of crazy. I just love the combination of the green meadows with the white cliffs and the blue ocean. I mean, it's just hard to beat that scenery.
It's gorgeous.
All right, so after the Jurassic Coast, we're going to head up
It's
north
interesting though, because like depending on how the light hits it, it looks like black or blue, which is interesting. I think it's really cool. It looks interesting either way.
Wales. Now, Wales
never been to Wales
is
either.
Located in the southwest part of Great Britain. It's famous for its mountainous national parks.
This is how bad, again, that geography is in the United States, because I didn't know Wales existed as a country until I was much older. And then I heard Catherine Zeta-Jones saying she was from Wales. I was like, I heard Catherine Zeta-Jones speak, and I was like, why does she sort of sound British? It's like she is sort of like a British accent. I'm like, that's weird. I didn't know Catherine Zeta-Jones was British. Then I looked her up, and it says she's from Wales. And I'm like, where the hell is that? How horrible geography is. Granted, I was like a teenager. I wasn't like a fully grown adult at this point. But that's how bad our geography is in the United States. Absolutely horrid. Just, we learn nothing. When I used to say I was going to Paris for the summer, like in middle school, they're like, oh my God, I love Paris, Texas. Not kidding though. I love Paris, Texas. I was like, Paris, France. They're like, where is that? I was like, in Europe. Like, oh, well, why didn't you just say Europe? I was like,
located in the southwest part of Great Britain. It's famous for its mountainous national parks, picturesque coastline, and distinct Welsh language. One of the most scenic places in Wales is the Snowdonia National Park. It's a region in northwest Wales that is known for its mountains and lakes. The highest peak in Wales, Mount Snowdon, is located in the park with an elevation of 10,085 meters. You can hike on up there, or you can take the Snowdon Mountain Railway to the top.
yes.
If you're lucky, you might be able to see Ireland across the sea.
Love that. Gorgeous,
Alright, so
gorgeous,
after
gorgeous.
Wales, we're going to head to the Isle of Man. Now, located in the Irish Sea, right between
Ooh.
England and Ireland, lies a rugged island known for its rural landscapes and medieval castles.
Oh,
While
that's
it's technically
gorgeous.
not part of the United Kingdom, it has status of crown dependency, and the UK
Okay.
is responsible for its defense and external relations. The Isle of Man has had an interesting history.
wow.
Humans have lived on it since 6500 BC, and in the 19th century, it
Jeez.
was ruled by Norway. But in 1266, the island became part of Scotland, and now it is a self-governing isle. An interesting place on the Isle of Man is Peel Castle. It was constructed by Vikings in the 11th century and just sits right on the ocean. I mean, it's a pretty cool castle if you ask me.
Whoa.
Alright, so
That's
after the Isle of
stunning.
Man, we're going to head across the sea to visit Northern
Game of
Ireland.
Thrones.
Now, Ireland is full of just beautiful scenery, dramatic coastal cliffs, and countless
I know.
castles.
I don't know if anyone's like a fan of Game of Thrones, but I was like a massive fan of Game of Thrones. So I've always wanted to do. I know that in Northern Ireland, like a lot of it was filmed in. Was it Belfast? I think a lot of it was filmed in Northern Ireland. I know Game of Thrones was, and they have like the Game of Thrones, like where you can go to like the castles, a lot of like Castle Black and stuff, and they do like they have the dire wolves there and stuff. You can do archery and like a feast, and I know that that's probably very cringy to many of you, but it's always something I really wanted to do. I've definitely seen this road before though. I think on Game of Thrones, it's so stunning. Like the trees, it just looks like haunted, but also amazing. I just want to go
Now,
so
Ireland
bad.
is full of just beautiful scenery, dramatic coastal cliffs, and countless castles.
Ooh.
Back in 1921, Ireland was split into Northern and Southern
Yep.
Ireland as a result of the Government of Ireland Act of 1920. While Southern Ireland became a free Irish state, Northern Ireland remained within the United Kingdom. The capital of Northern Ireland is the city of Belfast,
Yeah.
which is the birthplace of the Titanic ship. One of the most
Oh,
iconic
yeah.
places in Northern Ireland is the Dark
My
Hedge.
son is obsessed with the Titanic, so that would be fun to take him to. He loves the Titanic. He talks about it all the time with his best friend Chris at school. He came home from school one day because Chris is obsessed with the Titanic, and he goes, "Mommy, did you know?" Like, I don't know why I did like a British accent with that. "Mommy, do you know that like Titanic was a massive ship where a lot of people died?" And I'm like, "Oh, lovely. And where did you learn that?" Because he's 4. So I was just like, oh, that's great. Who's teaching my 4-year-old about this? But it turned out to be one of his other friends. And now they talk about it at lunch like every single day. I don't know. He knows like all these weird facts about the Titanic ship. And I just think that's interesting. So it'd be fun to take him if there's a museum or something. I bet he would love it. Sorry if I'm
Place of the
yapping too
Titanic
much.
ship. One of the most iconic places in Northern Ireland is the Dark Hedges. It's this road lined with beech trees
So
planted
cool.
in the 18th century. It was used as a filming location for the Game of Thrones. On the northern coast, you can check out the Carrick Already
Ooh.
Rope Bridge or see the basalt columns.
Oh, that's
at the
another Game of
Giant's
Thrones thing.
Causeway. I mean, there's just so much history and beauty in Ireland, and it just makes me want to go there and explore.
Would love to
Alright,
go to
so for our
Ireland as
next
well.
location, we're going to head to Scotland to visit the Isle of Skye.
Ooh.
This is probably my all-time favorite place in the UK. You literally feel like you're in a
Gorgeous.
fairy tale when you visit there. I was lucky enough to go to the Isle of Skye last summer, and it's about a 5-hour drive from Edinburgh. One of the most impressive places in the Isle of Skye is the Old Man Store. It's one of my
Wow.
all-time favorite rock formations. I felt like I was on the set of Game of Thrones when I was there. Now, to get to the Old Man Store,
Yes.
it's about a 4-kilometer hike. You walk
Ooh.
through some conservation gates, and you'll reach the famous rock pinnacles. I went for
That doesn't look
sunrise
that
and
bad.
sunset, and both occasions were breathtaking. When I was there was just like crows flying around the rock, and there were some sheep running around. I mean, it was just a magical place. So the legend
that's
of
so
the
cool.
Old Man Store is supposedly a giant lived there a long time ago, and when he was buried, his thumb was left sticking out of the ground. When you go there, it's easy to see why it's one of the world's most iconic rock formations. It's one of my all-time favorite places, and I recommend everyone to see it at least once in their life. Just a few minutes away from the Old
Ooh.
Man Store, there is a breathtaking waterfall called Meout Falls.
Wow.
It cascades down to the ocean. There's a nice viewpoint where you can look at the waterfall. The surrounding sea cliffs in the area are also stunning. One of the most famous is Kilt Rock, which are right by Meout Falls. I mean, it's just such a cool area. There aren't many waterfalls that fall straight into the ocean.
That is
If
so
you're looking
cool.
to find some ferries, you may want to check out the
Oh,
ferry pools.
fairies.
There are these picturesque blue pools that lie at the base of the Black Colons. When I was there were so
Oh.
many midges. I didn't dare get close to water, so make sure you bring some bug spray. If you want to do a beautiful hike, I'd also recommend visiting the Corrang.
I'm
It's
sadly so not a hiking person. You can probably tell by my physique. I'm fat and I don't like hiking. But I don't know. I would take like a helicopter tour or something if they if they do these. It looks stunning though. I would love the like the Harry Potter train he showed in the beginning. I know it's not an actual Harry Potter train, but I think it's like they call it like the journey. I would do that where you get to see all like the beautiful nature, but inside of like a compartment where you can like drink something and eat something and like watch all of it and just like take some videos. I'm not a nature girly in that sense. I wish I was. I so wish I was a nature girly. Like when I lived in South Africa, all of my friends would constantly go like hiking up Table Mountain, or they would go up to like Lion's Head, and they'd be like, "Do you want to join us on a hike?" And I'm like, no, definitely not. And this was when I was like a lot younger too. I was like 21 and I was way more in shape. I still have never been like super thin, but I was more in shape. But nope, could not catch me on a hike. Could not.
One of the most beautiful areas in the Isle of Skye. You feel like you're walking on a giant golf course. I found this crazy vantage point to get a good 360 view of the whole area. All right,
oh my God, he's on top of it.
We're going to head over to the nearby Stonehenge Castle. If you're driving to the Isle of Skye, you will drive right by this. It's one of my favorite castles in the UK.
Gorgeous.
Situated on a small tidal island at the point where the three great sea locks meet. The castle was built in the 13th century. I'm so mad at myself. I didn't visit the castle when I was there. I wasn't able to check it out. That's one of my biggest regrets of when I visited the UK, so don't make the same mistake I made.
I wonder if it's still like an operating... Ooh, there it is. That's the train I was talking about. I wonder if it's still like an operating castle. Like, does someone live there? Because it looked quite well intact. You know, some of them are obviously like ruined castles where like no one could live there because it's like inhabitable, but that looked quite intact, so I wonder if someone does live there.
Castle, we're gonna head over to one of Scotland's most iconic locations,
so badly.
The Glenfinnan Viaduct. It's located at the top of Loch Shiel in the West Highlands of Scotland. It was completed around 1898. This may look familiar because it was featured in the Harry Potter films.
Hogwarts Express.
When I was there, I wanted to get close to the bridge, so I walked underneath it. I was just shook by how big it actually was. After I hiked to the top to get a good vantage point so I could see the famous train go across the viaduct.
That's so cool.
Just really reminds you of those Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
All right, so after Glenfinnan, we're going to head over to Edinburgh. Now, if you want to go back in time, Edinburgh is a must.
My parents have been there. I've never...
J.K. Rowling wrote her Harry Potter novels. When I started traveling, this was one of the first cities I visited. It's a medieval old town with intricate neoclassical buildings, cobblestone streets, and beautiful gardens. The iconic Edinburgh Castle overlooks the city and is home to Scotland's crown jewels. When I was there, I didn't go into the castle because I was being too cheap, but one of my favorite places was Calton Hill. It offers a beautiful view of the whole entire city. While we're still in Edinburgh, we're going to head over to Arthur's Seat. Now, Arthur's Seat is located in Holyrood Park, and it's a short walk from Edinburgh Centre. Arthur's Seat is an extinct volcano with an elevation of 823 feet.
Ooh.
When I was there, I wanted to get as high as I could so I could see all of Edinburgh. I made a hike up, and I reached the top. It was just so windy when I was there, nearly blew me over. After I hiked to the top, I had a good time just hiking around Holyrood Park and enjoying the views of one of UK's most iconic cities. All right, well, that is it for my United Kingdom top 10. The UK is just such a unique region in the world, and I hope all can witness its beauty.
I do think the
history.
UK's like nature is just like unmatched. It's so stunning. Like everything is gorgeous. Like, and I'm gonna stop saying like. I'm so sorry, guys. The nature is unmatched. The buildings are absolutely gorgeous. The architecture in the UK is just, again, so beautiful. People really took their time, I feel like, with architecture back in hundreds of years ago, so obviously thousands of years ago in some cases. But they really took their time, I think. They made things look beautiful, whether it was a bench or a lamppost. Like, they wanted it to, like, resemble beauty. They wanted it to be stunning to look at. Now, we just put up, like, big-ass, ugly buildings. I'm not talking about the UK necessarily. I'm just talking about the US in general. Like, we put up big concrete buildings to house a Target or a Walmart. Or in, like, cities, we put up big, ugly steel or glass skyscrapers that are just straight up, like, you know, squares. They have absolutely no intricacy. Like, they do not care. It's like, how cheap can we make this? So beauty is really lost, which I think is so sad because these places are gorgeous and it's like it's untouched by time, which is what's so special, I think, about the UK and about Europe in general as well. But the UK has my favorite type of architecture, which is like the neoclassical. Like I love that era of architecture. As well as I do really enjoy like Tudor and medieval as well, but I'm a bit of a neoclassical girl in terms of like the architecture that I enjoy. Anyways, thank you guys. I always say that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I'm sorry if I talked too much. Hopefully I didn't. Please let me know if there's any places that I should visit. Guys, I'm going to like, you guys are going to become my UK family, and I'm going to make stops along the way. We're going to go to football games together. Like, I'm expecting tours of each of these cities. I'm going to be like, hey, I'm in town. I want to be shown around. Like, let's go party. Let's go to the club. Like, let's go to the pubs together. Let's have a few pints. Like, I'll force down a pint. I don't drink beer, but I'll force down one and we'll have fun. Yeah? This is my plan. Hopefully you guys stick around. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.